Alright everyone, hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Hi, my name is Brooke, I'm 29 years old, and I do personal finance videos on my channel. So if you are interested in personal finances or want to just be nosy about someone else's personal finances, I would love to have you subscribe. Today is the last day of July, which means that we are going to be doing a paycheck breakdown. My husband and I combine our finances and we get paid twice a month, and so we get our paychecks on the 15th and the last day of the month. So we got our latest paycheck. So I'm going to go ahead and break down where our money is going for this pay period. I am not doing a full breakdown of how much we spent in July because I have not finished the budget for July, and we will go over that next week along with the overall August budget. I also have some very fun upcoming travel videos that I want to do. And yeah, I'm so excited for that because we've got a very fun weekend ahead of us. Usually I do a monthly breakdown, but doing a paycheck breakdown has actually helped me to kind of understand where my finances are going a little bit better than just doing a monthly budget and then looking at my spreadsheet every time I put in transactions and seeing how much I have left in my categories, because this really makes it more tangible about how that money is being allocated for different things and if I have enough money to cover the different stuff that I'm trying to cover. So I really like it in that sense. And all of my budgeting is from our take-home pay. So this is after taxes, insurance, 401k contributions, all that stuff. So this is only the money that hits our bank account. I don't like to budget off of our gross because our gross doesn't take into account what actually hits our bank account and what we can actually spend. So with all that saying, let's look at the numbers. For the July 31st paycheck, our take-home pay was $6,301. And the reason why this is higher than previous times is because this is my husband's new pay after his annual salary increase, along with his annual increase to his 401k. We are doing it so that our 401ks automatically go up 1% every year. And so this is our new pay after all of that's accounted for. So what I like to do is I like to break up our bigger bills in half because we get 2 paychecks a month. That just makes sense for my brain. And so our mortgage, I'm setting aside $1,500, and that is to cover our principal and interest as well as our escrow. And this is half of what we pay towards our mortgage. So I've already set aside $1,500 from the first paycheck of July, and this is the second paycheck of July. For our utilities have gone up pretty substantially since we moved to a much bigger house. And so now I am setting aside $300 each paycheck to go into our utilities to make sure that we can cover electric, gas, water, our security system, all that stuff is wrapped into that. And then for our investing goals, we are trying to max out our Roth IRAs as well as put a little bit extra aside to our joint brokerage account. And so for this paycheck specifically, I'm setting aside $725. That's $625 to my husband's Roth IRA and $100 to our brokerage. In terms of our saving, we have quite a few sinking funds and long-term savings that we do. And so this number is for all of those different categories. I always break them up in my monthly budget so you can see what categories we have. And I have a great video on sinking funds. If you want to learn more about them, you can check that out. And we keep all of this money in a high yield savings account. A high yield savings account, I cannot stress enough, is so great. It is like a regular savings account, except they give you way more on your money. And so we are with Ally Bank, and that is the place we've been with. I've been with them for like over 7-8 years, and I love them. I think they're a wonderful institution. They are FDIC insured, all that good stuff. And their going rates are higher than like an average brick and mortar savings account. I have a brick and mortar savings account with one of the credit unions in the area, and that gives me 0.1% interest on my money, whereas my high yield savings account is currently giving me, I think, around 3%. So you can see that that can compound way faster if you choose the right type of account. And so for this paycheck, we are setting aside $1,675 to go into our long-term savings and sinking funds. Next up, because this is our last paycheck of the month, we are going to go ahead and set aside our his and hers spending buckets. So we get money that we can spend throughout the month, and it's guilt-free. We don't have to be all like, oh, like this money is allotted for something else. This is for us to spend personally, and we can spend it on whatever we want. And because my husband got a pretty substantial raise, which was really great, and we also paid off his student loans earlier this year, I actually upped our his and hers guilt-free spending. So now we each get $200 a month. We were at $175 a month, but now we're at $200 a month. And so we are setting aside in total $400 for our his and hers spending for next month. The last category on here is giving. We are Christians and we do believe that giving back to our community is very important, donating to charitable causes that we believe in, such as our local food bank and different organizations in our community that help out people with really felt needs. And so for this paycheck, we are setting aside $500 for giving. So that means we are left with $1,201. And what I do with all of this extra money that I have is I put it into what I call our credit card holding bucket. So within Ally in your checking account, you can create buckets for different categories. And so I have one called credit cards, and I put all of the money after our bills into that one. So then whenever it's time to come to pay our credit cards off, we always have enough money to pay them in full. We never pay any interest on any of our credit cards. And so that's how I like to do it, just so I know that I'm always going to be covering everything and I don't have to pay insane interest rates on my credit cards, because I think last I checked, my interest rate on my cards were hovering around 23%. And I would rather have interest work in my favor and not against it. So that's why I put all of our leftover money to our credit cards, because we put all of our regular spending and everything onto our credit cards, and then we just pay them off in full at the time of the statement balance. So we never carry over any balances or pay any interest. So that $1,201, along with anything that I have to pull out of our sinking funds to cover any sinking fund costs that we did in this month, will be pulled out so that I can pay off our credit cards next month. So that is all I have for you today. Let me know in the comments down below, how do you budget your paycheck? I would love to hear all of that. Figure out what works for you, watch different creators, understand how they make their budgets work for them, because personal finance is so personal and I want it to make sense for your life. And I also want to make sure that you are setting aside money for goals and also for fun and things like that. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, y'all.